100 episodes of RWBY, guys, proving that you don't need to have quality writing for a show to succeed. What a time to be alive. We open up with an explosion breaking into the holding facility, and Crow decides to transform because I don't know why. I can only pray that Robin has been crushed to death. Back with the Moronics as they bring Penny into the mansion. Penny is apparently leaking, according to Blake. Then Klein says something so fucking baffling, I'm surprised that even the idiots that vomit up this show would write.
But her basic anatomy seems similar enough.
Klein, you as a doctor must understand that as a robot, Penny's anatomy is literally nothing like that of a human's. If her Mountain Dew was actual blood, she would have been dead given how much she lost. You idiot. So the power goes out, and they decide to turn on the backup generator.
SDC executives have their own auxiliary power supplies, in case of a citywide blackout. It's extremely unfair.
Because generators are a privilege, not a right, you froob. Also, why was Willow the one to bring it up? More importantly, why is Whitley coming up with a plan to help Mantle? Weiss should know about the generator and about the unused cargo ships. Why are you so useless? Fuck me. Get ready for some truly cringe dialogue. I mean it. It's awful.
Until I met you. It was a little strange at first because you were younger, but I've always looked up to you, RWBY.
Who the fuck talks like this? Since fucking when did Blake ever look up to RWBY? This is the first character interaction these two have had alone. They didn't see each other for nearly a fucking year, and Blake was too busy pandering to the lowest common denominator to have any meaningful interaction. And RWBY not always knowing what to do is fucking nonsense only invented for this season. She's super spectacular amazing and never did anything wrong. She's Ruby Rose. All her choices are the right ones, even if they're not. Fuck off. Also, way to completely nullify everything Sun did to help you. Yeah, it was fucking RWBY that showed you that a person like you could survive in this world. Why must you do everything to destroy what good you have? However, now the episode gets good, but not in the way you may think. Somehow, Bob has managed to find them. How? Well, if you need the story to make sense, then you just don't understand this genius writing. Thankfully, I can channel my frustrations through Bob as he thrashes these two twat waffles. RWBY then focuses to try and use her silver eyes, which she didn't need to do that last time she used them, but at least they remembered the silver eyes existed. They fight Bob for a while before he comically knocks RWBY out, and I can't lie, I found this to be infinitely hilarious. Blake forgetting she has a semblance is also hilarious because I get to see her being slapped around, which makes me happy. Also, why didn't RWBY dodge Bob? Weiss shows up, but more Grimm just magically pop up out of nowhere. Because fuck you. Penny wakes up and she has evil red eyes. The thought of the virus Arthur used giving Penny red eyes makes me laugh. Like, he programmed it to specifically give her red eyes when it took over. And how convenient that not only did Penny get taken over at this very moment, but that her fluid loss means nothing. Penny manages to fight it off and activates her powers, which Bob sees. A Super Grimm appears because it was part of a fan art contest when we cut back to Penny. She fights the virus and Nora's nonsense morphine ramblings bring her out of it.
A part of me is making me. It's just a part of you. Don't forget about the rest.
Now, Nora vomiting out this nonsense is fine because she's doped out of her mind, but how the show is portraying it is baffling. The virus hacking into her is a part of her and not all of her.
Well, that's pretty stupid.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? This somehow works. Okay. Bob breaks into the house and...
Above you! What?
So, instead of tracking down Penny, Bob is just stuck to the ceiling waiting for Weiss to enter. I'd be angry if it wasn't so funny. Bob then takes off after getting the scent he already had. Okay. And Weiss forgets 90% of the abilities she has. Again. Then Bob goes into the room Whitley is in, and I'm confused as to why. If he has Penny's scent, then shouldn't he just go to where it's strongest and not here? If this was a normal Grimm, then fine. They're mindless, so it makes some sense, but Bob has a super galaxy brain, so he should know that Penny isn't in this room. Unless her Mountain Dew is so powerful, it completely masks other scents. Willow saves Whitley, and Weiss stops Bob with an ice wall. Cool, now use your gravity glyph to compress the ice around him like you did in the Vital Festival. The pressure should be enough to injure him, or be useless as usual and only summon. You understand that summoning is one of the most useless abilities you have, right? Time dilation mixed with your other overpowered glyphs pretty much eclipse your very pathetic summons. Back with Blake, and she is too being even more useless than usual. She keeps telling Ruby to get up because she needs her. Just shoot it in the belly with your gun, you stupid cat! Use your blade beam! Blitz it with your clones! How do you make Blake even more useless than she was before? She just keeps telling Ruby to get up, causing the Grimm to knock her aura out. And yes! She does use her dust clones, but never to actually kill the thing, which she should be able to do effortlessly. Instead, she needs Ruby to one-shot the thing. Please tell me again why Ruby isn't a Mary Sue. The virus completely takes over Penny, and she and Bob get into a test of strength. He just ragdolled her and knocked her the fuck out. Ruby gets it with her silver eyes. However, it turns out that Bob is made of people.
Take the girl. Take the girl.
Why is it every time Ruby do body horror, it ends up being hilarious? He looks like a guy in a fursuit, but he's got half his face scarred or whatever, so it's scary. Maybe it's because my standards for body horror are high, but this shit is so tame. You guys don't have to adhere to any FCC standards, so you can go places other shows can't. Have some balls for once. You know, if Bob just flew out the window, he could have gotten away, but instead he stands there threatening to kill Penny like an idiot. Not even Bob's galaxy brain is safe from the Ruby rot. Also, apparently Ruby doesn't have to concentrate to use her silver eyes because the plot didn't need her to get knocked out this time. Bob is then killed when Willow and Whitley push over the armor statue. Now, you may think the armor is really heavy, and with Bob being weakened by the silver eyes, that would be the explanation. But actually it's because the sword stabbed it, which is impossible because the sword would have had to have teleported above the armor to impale it. That's what it literally does. So, the most consistently effective villain compared to their screen time not only is turned into a complete cabbage brain toad, but dies in the most retarded way possible. Sounds about Ruby. Also, Bob has silver eyes, and that's why Salem wants them alive. So the creation of Bob must have been very recent because Salem sent Talk to kill Maria, which again, I have to ask, why wait until now to use Bob? Unless Bob was created only like a year ago. That was the 100th episode of RWBY, and once you get past the Blake sucking Ruby's cock scene, the episode becomes really funny. It's still the same garbage writing we've come to expect, but at least it was hilariously inept. Also, I was on a podcast called YARP. You should all subscribe to them because they're really funny and cool people. I had a lot of fun talking about a Chris Stuckman video, believe it or not. Give them a sub. Link is in the description.